On the 12th day of Christmas, yours truly gave to thee a vlog about Content ID. Hello, Earthlings. It is January 5th, 2014, and today we're going to talk about YouTube and copyright. As I'm recording this, the sun is setting on the last of the 12 days of Christmas, but nevertheless it is an excuse to wear a Santa hat and talk to you about things that happened over this holiday season. For those who don't know, on December 21st, I recorded a winter solstice video and concluded it by singing Silent Night. I recorded that at sunset too and got it up early on the 22nd and immediately was hit with a copyright claim on the public domain song. It was an automatic claim issued by YouTube's Content ID system. That particular claim was issued by quote-unquote multiple recording rights associations or whatever. I disputed the claim because it was nothing but me singing in front of a pond, this one right here actually, and there was no musical accompaniment, and the song has been in the public domain for quite some time. So I issued my dispute, and the claim was immediately rescinded. All good, right? Problem solved! Except then I went to sleep that night, woke up the next morning, and found that not one but 3 more copyright claims had been issued via the YouTube Content ID system. This time, it was all by named big major record labels. Warner, Universal, UMG. I think that's the same thing. So that was very frustrating. Highly frustrating. You can find more details and screen caps of the claims in my blog. Link down there, or here, or somewhere. But here's where things get even more interesting on a more positive note. You see, I was tweeting my frustration out quite prolifically, and apparently some of it was noticed by a guy named Mike Masnick, who is a writer and apparently the CEO of TechDirt. Masnick tweeted at me and asked if I would be willing to share details, so when I finished my blog, I sent it to him, and he wrote up an article on TechDirt about my copyright Content ID issues. That article went up on Christmas Eve. Now, on Christmas Day, the story started spreading a bit more. First on Boing Boing, courtesy Cory Doctorow, who I guess must have seen the TechDirt article because suddenly everything exploded from there. Once it got onto Boing Boing, it just went nuts all over the place. And so I have to issue a huge thank you out there to everyone who reported on this, because in the following days, and even up till now, the video in question has gotten more attention than it had any right to. It is in fact now my 2nd most viewed video, and I have acquired a lot more new subscribers as a direct result of that. So hi, new subscribers, thank you. I like you. Tell me about yourself because you seem awesome. Now, when it came to getting the claims disputed, Warner was the longest holdout of the major record labels, and eventually, after Christmas, of course, it did release its claim. Interesting side note, though, I have no idea if this is... I have no idea if this is something that's normal in Content ID or if this is a result of the bad press, but very quickly the claims that were listed as having been released on the page that listed such things vanished. Suddenly all I have a record of, if I hadn't taken screen caps, was that claims had been made, but not who they had been made by. Those names vanished one by one, which is a little weird, and I really do wonder if that's common practice for Content ID or if they ask to have their names taken off. All that being said, and as much good as ended up coming out of it, it was still a frustrating experience. I'd actually planned to record more Christmassy videos and more singing, but I really didn't feel like it while I was dealing with getting those copyright claims taken off. It was just too frustrating to deal with. Okay, I'm gonna upload a video and have to deal with it again, and again, and again, and again. Clearly, the Content ID system has a lot of work yet to do, and I kind of feel like there needs to be another category in the Content ID for, you know, this stuff is possibly public domain, maybe a human should look at it before we take action. Actually, I saw a comment, I think it was on Boing Boing, that I thought made a lot of sense. They should keep the video monetized rather than demonetizing it right away and send the money to whoever wins the dispute. Of course, that system would not be perfect either, because right now the person who decides the dispute is the person who made the copyright claim. And there have been cases where that doesn't end well. I do want to make one correction that I've seen spreading a little bit around the internet, is that none of the record companies who made their claims against my video monetized my video, so nobody profited off of that while it was in dispute. It has gone different ways for other people and other videos, and it could have gone that way in this case, but it didn't. So thank heaven for small favors, I suppose. This isn't exactly YouTube's first problem, though. Content ID is far from the only problem that YouTube has when it comes to copyright. This is something I've been dealing with for a long time, and even in times when the video is reviewed by a person, they don't always get it necessarily right. These and other cases, especially a lot of the stuff going on with people who review games right now, are just a great example about how YouTube goes above and beyond copyright law. Which is a little worrisome. I mean, I know they don't want to have to deal with the fight, but they've dealt with these fights before and won. Unfortunately, now that they're not so much the little guy and more the big guy, they don't seem to want to deal with it anymore. And so we end up with a YouTube that... And that's right about where I slipped and fell, and my camera went, blah, I don't know what to do, you lost everything, and had to run back and try to recover my footage, and completely lost my meandering train of thought. But that's okay, because I actually recently made my 3rd appearance on the Dangerous Kids podcast, and that is not up yet, but I talked a lot about copyright and YouTube, and there will be a link to that somewhere when that is up. I would also like to continue this discussion, so if you have any thoughts about this, experiences, whether it's happened to you, or you've heard about it happening to other people, or you know of other videos about this topic, please comment, post links, tell me about it, keep the discussion going, and we can keep on keeping on. I have nowhere left to go with this. Until next time, I'm Adam the Alien. Fare thee well. The shortest day of the year, the longest night of the year, and the official beginning of winter. Should old acquaintance be forgot, and auld lang syne